I'm clicking record now. All the audio is good. Can you do a little bit of audio test?
No, I can't do any audio testing whatsoever.
Well, darn it. I am screwed, I guess.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. Today, I have gone to America Land once more to find another friend to do this with me. Say hello, victim. Okay, maybe take off the ball. Okay, wait. The gag comes off. There you go.
Please send help.
Help never come. It's never coming for you.
Fair enough. It never
Shit.
does.
Nah, we were always on our own. So, with that awkward introduction as always. I mean, that's what I do. It's what we do. It as
Dooby doo.
Scooby Dooby Dooby Doo. And today, though, as usual, with bringing Bleach along with us, I think we're gonna go back to the good old Native American lore, trials and tribulations, awesome stories. Honestly, there's been some really good ones so far.
Wildly freaky.
Yes, if there's one thing they do, it is freaky. Though last ones were pretty cool with like hedgehog goblins that shoot magic arrows at you.
The good old puckwudgies. Yeah.
Though I gotta give them, they do deicide pretty well.
Yes, they do. Like
Holy crap.
incredibly well.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're our god? Well, say hello to bows and arrows.
Well, hey, you have to remember, at least he flung them around a little bit, but
Yeah, he managed to spread
yeah,
the problem around a little bit, so you know that's the thing.
exactly.
So, as you can probably see, I've started with a thing that seems like it's screaming into the void.
Oh, like me before I got the gag removed.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun though. At least for me, it was fun.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, this is a lesson. Never walk home without your gun. There you go.
But I had my gun.
You did?
Yeah, apparently you can't shoot trolls.
Oh, right. We regenerate like hell.
Yeah, that's clearly evidenced by Valheim.
Yep. Also, I'm fat enough that bullets bounce right off. It's kind of fun.
And blue, strangely enough.
Eh, what can I do? It's been a low season for sunlight.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, would you like to introduce this wonderful creature? BDSM jokes aside.
So this is the Piasa bird, spelled Piasa, like Arkansas, basically, is kind of how you butcher that spelling into a language.
You mean Arkansas? Arkansas?
Well, you got Arkansas and Kansas.
Yeah. The Arkansas bird.
That's right.
So this creature, though, from the source images you showed me, it looks like the Native American version of this massive ass dragon, dude.
It's kind of in the family of lore that surrounds the Thunderbird.
Right.
But the unique thing about the Piasa bird is there is it got destroyed in 1870 or 71. There was this gigantic actual painting, kind of weathered painting and relief sculpture that it was first recorded in 1673 by Padre Jacques Marquette.
That sounds
He was.
Ew.
Marquette was one of the big explorers of North America, of French North America specifically. But he ran into this gigantic artwork on a cliffside overlooking the Missouri River, not Missouri, Mississippi River in Alton, Illinois, which across the river's Missouri. So that's why I kind of wanted to muddle it all together. Yeah, it's like this gigantic painting that just overlooked the bluffs.
So it was like a stone painting, or was it like an actual painting on
It
a?
it was like a relief painting. So they kind of like chiseled some of it out, some of the outline into the stone, and then painted it. So it was somewhat protected from weather, from my understanding of the original outcropping, which again got quarried away in like 1870. And the thing is, this predated like most of the tribes that were living in that area. That's the thing that really gets people is this painting.
Yeah, you did. You did tell me there was gonna be a lot of deep lore in this, and okay.
So, do we want to do the lore or the history first? That's always my question.
I always like the lore, but
So well,
which one would you
okay.
suggest
So
is most important?
we'll go with the lore. It's your channel. We'll do the lore. So the piasol bird, because it is considered kind of in the thunderbird family, which are these gigantic winged creatures that kind of look like birds. There's always that pterodactyl reference that you get in more kind of like 40s and 50s telling of the stories. But they're supposed to be these gigantic winged creatures that can carry off animals like livestock, like horses and people, and just these monstrous creatures that would fly over and just like, hey, Trim looks delicious today. Let's go get him.
Yeah. If you
And
have something that can carry off a full-on troll, that's oof.
oh, they could. That's the freaky part. And let's see. Let's get right into his. It's because there's actually like a divergent piece that we'll get in there, but because it's this. The name Piasa is derived from one of the Illinois tribes that translates roughly into the bird that devours men.
Okay, because
And
I was about to ask, is this thing like a malicious kind of deity, or is it? Well, I think we got the answer
now
there.
you know.
Yeah, that's I don't think man-eaters are seen as benevolent. I mean, trolls
No.
weren't considered benevolent, and they were really fond of, like, especially Christian meat.
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
So so Jacques Marquette kind of retells part of the story that was told to him while he was doing the exploring. So there were originally two piasol birds, and they were described as pair of monsters, each as large as a calf, with horns like a deer, red eyes, a beard like a tiger, probably means lion, and a frightful expression of countenance. The face is something like that of a man, the body covered with scales, and the tail so long that passes entirely around its body, over its head, and between its leg, ending like that of a fish. I mean, just that just gives you the idea. And he was just describing the mural. Just the mural. And this is a scaled down representation of this creature that would come and carry off men.
Because you sent me
Think
this,
about that.
yeah, you sent me a picture, right, of the French explorer.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like a sketch or something that he took?
It was actually included on his the map that he drew while he was exploring the Mississippi River. Yes.
Yeah, because that thing is just terrifying.
It is one of those. It's like this archaic sketch, but it's more freaky than some of the stuff that you see about the Piasa bird being kind of, because they recreated the mural over the Mississippi. But that's like less freaky than the original sketch.
Yeah.
Is
Because
is that
I've seen it and I'm kind of trying to get the eyes, and it's like,
yeah? Because the eyes sell it. Because everything else, it's like, oh, okay, maybe they look like like a snake's eyes or like some animal like cat's eyes or something like that. Where it's but the original art is like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to just shrivel up and go away now. Thank you.
I don't want to be around this thing. And I can't tell if that's just its limbs. I mean, it's just its lips or its mouth open. So I'm trying to go for a little bit of a betweener here.
It's usually depicted as like its mouth is partially open.
Yeah,
I think you're doing a fantastic job of this, actually.
thank you.
It's a freaky creature, just from the original art. I mean, it's kind of like cartoon goofy, but this is a modern artist's interpretation of
Yeah.
the original. And considering we've got an idea of the original, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with this thing.
Nope. I'm trying to mix in a little bit of the one you sent me first, the black and white one, but I'm also trying to integrate pieces of the original or the
Mm-hmm.
sketch of the original.
Well, so there was another account, a later account by writer in 1863, I think it was, name of John Russell, and he described the image cut into the bluff. So that's where that relief carving or deboss carving is, and described it as a dragon-like creature with wings. So that's where it gets into that bird, like Thunderbird territory, where it's just this monstrous creature that devours everything.
Yeah.
So
It kind of gives me some serious dragon vibes.
mm-hmm.
It's
It is definitely in that realm of it could be kind of like a classic dragon motif in a lot of ways.
honestly, yeah, and I mean, if there's one thing I love about myths around the world, if there's one goddamn constant in every single mythology, it is the dragon.
Yes.
In one form
Oh,
or another, there is always dragons.
and that's the thing that's kind of mind blowing. It's like, okay, where did this motif come from, and why do cultures that are this disparate always seem to have them?
Yeah, I mean, of course there are differences in them, but you have the dragons that are more serpentine. You have the dragons that
Mhm.
are Wyvernous, or you
Yeah.
have just downright snakes, Like the
Yeah.
Lindorm from Norse mythology, which is basically what the Midgar serpent is. It is the
Hmm.
largest of them all. That thing is literally just a massive dragon, a poison dragon, essentially.
Hmm. What there's was it the Mongolian death worm? That's another bit of lore that sounds a bit like the Lindworm.
Yeah,
Huh.
serpents and all that. People are always scared of things like that.
Yeah. So, but so here's the interesting thing with. So again, remember this was first recorded in 1638.
Mhm.
The culture that it came from, or not 1638, 1673. The culture it originally came from was extinct by the time that it was discovered by the white man.
Really?
So it comes from the Mississippian culture. and that was they existed from somewhere around 800 to, was it 1500? Some people say as late as 16, but um, they were pretty much gone from that region by about 1400.
Yeah, like extinct tribe taken out by their enemies.
They really don't know. I've never seen anything where it shows definitively what happened with these people. Because they were, this mound building culture, which you can still see these mounds today. The biggest one, and the one that this Piasa bird is from, is called Chacoa or Chakawa.
Right.
Nope. I don't buy whenever historians tell us what it is, because it's somebody else's name for the place.
Yeah.
But it's the largest earthen mound, I think, in North America. I'm not 100% sure. That it's I've got to go look it up. It's 30 meters tall. And the overall height is 30 meters tall for the big one, making it roughly the size of the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Right.
That just tells you how big the footprint of that place is. So
That is impressive.
and to think that mural of the Piasa bird is tied directly into that culture that was gone at least 2, maybe 300 years before it was ever seen by a white man. This mythological creature probably predates that, if it ever existed, but the lore of it existed at least around 900 AD.
Whoa.
Yeah. So again, this is not like, just, maybe somebody was on a spirit quest to just carve the shit out of a slab of stone at one point. But yeah, it's a massive thing. And then to think it lasted from, we'll say it was made originally in the year 1000. Complete speculation, but whatever. And then it lasted until some mining company wanted easy to get to lime in 1870.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was like they wanted limestone, and they quarried it and destroyed it. And then it got recreated based on all the old sketches between Marquette and some of the other accounts that were written of it.
Oh, that. Ooh.
Yeah, this is why I hate windmills, like wind farm kind of thing, because it's like, we're just gonna go and decimate some interesting archaeological site just because.
Oh yeah, windmills, dude. I hate windmills on a deep personal level, just because they ruin. You get nothing out of it.
Mhm.
Anyone who keeps saying, "Oh, we get energy from it," no, we don't. Everything we gain from them, we can get a lot more for something else. It is just waste.
Sultan's rant.
Just
not a Simply Sketchy rant.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And more reasons to hate it. So anyway, onwards to Piasa bird. Like, is there any stories that have survived it?
So, well, that's the thing. It's like the legends of the Piasa bird are very, very thin, but they all connect back to this kind of weird divergence, because there's some speculation that the wings were painted on later.
Really?
Yeah.
Because again, you did say that the wings were theoretical. We did say the wings were theoretical words.
Right, yeah, because it's like, well, we tried to make it into a dragon. Well, so one of the things, and if you look at the original sketch from Marquette, you don't see the wings,
Nope.
but you see it with the later ones. So it's like, which is right? So there's this other legendary monster which ties into this. So we're getting a 2-for-1 sale here,
It's
referred to as a underwater panther.
really.
So the underwater panther is like mostly an Ojibwe term, but it they think it might have come from uh, this Mississippian culture, kind of like a continuation. Um, so it's the underwater panther is referred to have the head and paws of a giant cat is covered in scales, spurs running along its back, and it lives in the waters. And it's let's see, with the Algonquins, it is referred to as a powerful underworld being. Where the Ojibwe, it's a master of all water creatures, so fish, eels, snakes that are aquatic,
So it's the
and it fits into
king
certain
of the
like,
sea, basically.
yeah. So that's why it's like the underwater panther.
Huh. Oh, dude, this is
And
in a way that underwater panther would essentially. It's kind of like the Midgard serpent, you know, because that thing
uh-huh,
ruled under the waters. Even the kraken was afraid of that thing.
uh-huh.
God, I
So
love Convergent.
so this is one of those. It's like because there's a speculative account, not account, but someone had written kind of referring to what Marquette found, because apparently there was a second Piasa bird
A brother or some kind.
or mate, like there were two of them.
Right.
And let's see, I've got the quote here somewhere. Um,
Thing about me when it comes to myths, I assume great monsters always to be male until proven otherwise.
so this is actually on the plaque of the Illinois Historical State Society. The
Right.
legend of the Piasa. Now they don't call it a bird, but they call it just the legend of the Piasa. In 1673, Jacques Marquette reported that he and fellow French explorer Louise Joliet discovered a painting of what were probably two water monsters on the bluff of the Mississippi River near present-day Alton, Illinois.
Really?
By 1700, those pictographic creatures were not entirely visible. In 1836, novelist John Russell described the image cut into the bluff of a legendary dragon with wings. According to Russell, the creature called the Piasa, the bird that devours men, which was proven correct otherwise, um, that this version of the pictograph, as well as the myth around the Piasa, have become prominent in Illinois folklore. So that's on the official Alton, Illinois sign,
Right.
which you can actually go and see to this day, where this recreated. But so yeah, it's like, did the wings get added later by either somebody else, or another tribe, or were they always there? And
Or maybe
because
one
it's
ruled the
destroyed,
maybe one ruled the sky and one ruled the sea.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like this amazing stuff had to come from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be that the dude doing the recreation felt the whole dragon aesthetic and was like, "Yeah, but dragons have wings." so they added more of
Exactly.
that.
Well, no, well, he went off the 1836 description,
Oh, okay.
but it's like so. You see, like with the underwater panther, it's always depicted also as having horns,
Yes.
beard, the long tail that ends like a fish,
Yep.
bearded. I mean, it's just this like, what the hell? So let's see.
Many
I'm
people say
going
they
to.
would go back in time to destroy a certain historical creature or fiend monster. Someone started whose name starts with Carl and ends with a, whose last
Mhm.
name starts with an M. Just saying.
Martel.
Yes, totally him. Yes,
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
him. Uh, Me, on the other hand, I would go back in time just to see what these mythological creatures truly were. Get the story from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
God, that
So
would be so cool.
here is what is one of the, so this is a called the Legend of the Piasa, which is I can't remember which tribe tells it, but because this has been engraved and like kind of provided by one of the tribes. So I'll read it for the sake of
Please do.
yeah, it's a little long, so I'll mangle it a few times. But many thousand moons before the arrival of the Palefaces, when the great Magellanics and Mastodon, whose bones are now dug up, were still living in the land of green prairies, there existed a bird of such dimensions that he could have easily carried off in his talons a full-grown deer. Having obtained a taste for human flesh, from that time he would prey upon nothing else. He was artful as he was powerful. Would dart suddenly and unexpectedly upon an Indian and bear him off into one of the caves in the bluff and devour him. Hundreds of warriors tried for years to destroy him, but without success. Whole villages nearly depopulated, and consternation spread throughout the tribes of the Illinois. At length, Altoga, a chief whose fame as a warrior extended beyond even the Great Lakes, separated himself from the rest of the tribe, fasted in solitude for the space of a whole moon, and prayed to the Great Spirit, the Master of Life, that he would protect his children from the Piasa. On that last night of the fast, the Great Spirit appeared to Autaga in a dream and directed him to select 20 of his warriors, each armed with a bow and poisoned arrow, and conceal themselves in a designated spot. Near the place of their concealment, another warrior was to stand in open view as a victim for Piasa, which they must shoot the instant that it pounced upon his prey. When the chief awoke in the morning, he thanked the Great Spirit and, returning to his tribe, told him the dream. The warriors were quickly selected and placed in selected ambush as directed. Altoga offered himself as victim. He was willing to die for his tribe. Placing himself in open view of the bluff, he soon saw the Piasa perched upon the bluff, eyeing his prey. Altoga drew up his manly form to its utmost height, planting his feet firmly upon the earth, began to chant the death song of a warrior. A moment after, the Piasa rose into the air, and as swift as a thunderbolt darted upon the chief. Scarcely had he reached his victim when every bow was sprung and every arrow sent to the feather. That's weirdly phrased. Into his body. The Piasa uttered a wild, fearful scream that resounded far over the opposite side of the river and expired. Otoga had held an invisible shield over him. In the memory of this event, the image of the Piasa was forever engraved in the bluff, such is the Illinois tradition.
Gotta say to the chief, he had balls. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna sacrifice any of you guys.
Uh huh. But
That's
think about that. So, because there's that line in there about like whole villages were nearly depopulated. That to me speaks to the Chokia mounds, or that these abandoned villages that so this tribe either came from those people or moved in when these villages were abandoned.
Huh.
So it's like
It could be one of their explanations for why they were empty.
yes, exactly. This is what I find so fascinating about myth and lore. Like there's a kernel of truth in all of this. And so what if you changed it from being able to fly to being kind of the underwater panther creature where he's killing anyone that crosses the Mississippi River?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild stuff. And if you want to go into another kind of rabbit hole with the Mississippian culture,
Go on.
a lot of the archaeological finds that are connected to them, one of the great theories is that maybe they are the ancestors of the Aztec. Because Aztec mythology says that they came from a land in the north.
Yeah.
And given the artwork, the mound building nature, and the fact that they practiced human sacrifice,
yeah, they did not fuck around.
Yeah. So
and also that would make sense if they were that ancient, because the Aztecs were, well, they weren't civilized by any means. They were advanced when it came to astrology, surprisingly.
mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of those cultures were. And I always wonder about, like, in the North American tribes that really kind of had all that architecture and stylization that's in kind of a lineage with the Aztecs or the Mayans. Is it just because wood is more abundant in North America, so that's why they just built out of wood and earth rather than stone? Just don't know.
I mean, there's no lack of wood down south.
True, but it's much harder to maneuver some of that in like the Andes. So,
though then again, the forests themselves the forests become fortresses in their own right.
Indeed. Yeah, so we've got this mythological creature that may be like the crossroads of 3 or 4 different cultures, but lasted. That's wild. And it's such a cool thing, and that's why I wanted to focus on the Piasa bird, because it's technically it could be one of 2 creatures, like its own thing, or the underwater panther. And then it also has like this cultural kind. I hate saying it that way.
Well, this is multiple cultures in a good way. This is in a good way.
Right, but they've adopted this thing, this beast, this horrific beast, and they've just like merged it and have all these separate lores about it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I've come to a conclusion about how to do the Piasa bird's wings now. I'm gonna make them into these membranous things, like a fish tail, you know?
Oh, like fins, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It makes it so I don't have to draw feathers, and we get massive, like, It also keeps to the whole dragon thing.
Well, remember, it's also described as having scales.
Yep.
Which, okay, I'll throw this out at you.
Go on.
What if the what they're thinking are wings were actually fins?
Yeah. Oh, dude, myths are so fucking cool.
I know. This is just this is why I just absolutely loathe the people that are like, oh, we've got to reduce it all down to reason and logic. But you're taking out like the symbolism that makes it so rich and colorful, and a way to tell stories that have more than just
A, B,
basic meaning.
C.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Remove the
look at any
heroism from the
novel.
heroic myths, and it's just nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like we hell we create myths about our own lives in a sense. So why should we strip down what original stories were all about?
Right?
And the great irony of how you're drawing the pie saw bird,
Yeah.
or maybe we should just call it the pie saw, is that was before I found that story that I read, from the Illinois about how they defeated him. And now he's like looking over the bluff. I
Yeah.
mean, how cool is that?
Honestly, none of this was planned in a way, so
Yeah. It's just amazing stuff.
The funny thing is, I just sketched something while we were trying to figure out what to do.
Hmm.
Oh man, this is just a good kind of coincidences.
Sometimes things are meant to happen in a strange roundabout fashion.
Indeed. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit of something here.
So, well, one thing I was thinking about
Hmm?
with the underwater panther side of things.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with I mean, Nessie up in Loch Ness, and then we've got Champ and some of these other cryptids that are out there that it's like, oh yeah, this lake monster or something like that.
Yeah.
Why not have the pie saw and the underwater panther concept part of that? And what's to stop all of these kind of branching off of very similar type creatures? Now they have different representations, but maybe that's something where
Maybe all of them hold
it's
a little bit of truth of what actually is there.
yeah.
And again, I know for many people here who don't like to believe in the supernatural and all that, I'm in the firm belief that while I openly believe in what I can see, I am certain that there's so much more that is real in a way. Again, what is mythological is merely things that have been interpreted in ways for us to understand. Like, for example, take the Bible. The Bible is not one for one. It is not the literal account, but it is the most understandable way for us to make that account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the fun thing, because if you read like a single Bible passage, you can probably find 4 or 5 different layers within
Yep.
it. And
Oh,
I
dude.
see the same
Speaking
thing
of
with
biblical
these.
monsters, after this, I got one who I'm reminded of. Keep going where you were going. Sorry.
Oh no, but it's like, yeah, if you've got like this symbol of the pie saw, it's got all these elements in it, and then where it was located, there's an element in that.
Yeah. If I were to
So
show this image to someone from another culture, they would probably see similarities with things from their own.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like another one, the Christian thing I was getting on now. Do you know a creature that resembles the description of the Piasa? The Leviathan.
No. Ooh.
A massive sea
Yeah.
monster, ancient, powerful beyond compare.
Mm-hmm.
And the description I've
Oh,
seen has been this massive, malformed mouth creature, similar to a fish but beyond.
mm-hmm. Oh, there's something I need to do a lookup on. But well, it's funny the way you phrased that, where people need to see everything kind of in front of them to believe it. All I have to answer that is germ theory.
Yeah.
How many generations before we were able to see them? Quite a few.
You couldn't see
Quite
either
a few.
Carius or Buctus.
Yeah.
Those are, by the way, two creatures from a Norwegian movie, stop motion movie
Ooh.
by Ivo Caprino.
Hmm.
It is essentially what ruins your teeth. Get it? Carius and Buctus. But they were like these two small trolls. God, I just remember that fucking. Sorry, dude. Oh, man.
But no,
Classical movie,
but
dude.
it's like stuff like that, where it's like this theory. It's like something that, oh well, just because we can't see it, that doesn't mean it's there. But this is like, but you believe in bacterias and germs and
Yeah.
yeah.
And
To
also,
be,
then you
there's
have
not a.
the downright permanence of the dragon. It's always there in any kind
Exactly.
of large mythology, in uh, any kind of civilization that lasted the eons. That thing is always there,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
many other creatures too. Like you have were creatures of different shapes and forms too.
yeah. 'Cause, well, I mean, that goes back to our earlier Simply Sketchy of the Wampus Cat.
Yep.
Yeah, that could kind of be an interpretation of lycanthropy.
Yep. Let's see.
So I am trying to remember, and you may know it, but there I think it was in Norway.
Yes.
And there, some bishop supposedly saw like this gigantic sea creature coming into like the harbor or bay of, maybe even a fjord, for all I know. And it's like it was recorded and and then it just like disappeared. And it was supposed to like take up almost the entire harbor.
Yeah. I can't remember that story, dude.
All I've seen is, and again, I'm trying to do like a quick research. It's like, oh, well, because unfortunately, Wikipedia has decided to completely shit all over the interesting like lore pages it used to have by being, well, we're gonna go super scientific, blah 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 blah. It's like, fuck you.
Being scientific doesn't make anything right these days. If anything,
No.
it just makes you a fool.
No.
Ever heard of the religion of science, Breach?
I have. I've heard of someone who is the science. Hmm. Let's. I am. I guess I'm going to just need to look this up. But yeah, it was like, I don't think it was the Bishop of Oslo. That's for sure.
Anything in Oslo doesn't really count for anything.
Um,
That might be my
Olaus, something like that.
I'm not really
Olaus?
familiar with the difference though, but do drop into that thing a bit if you can explain it.
Yeah.
What age was this?
It would have been like 1300s,
Oh, around that
like
era.
right around the time of Christianization of Norway, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Odd or Ud.
Old. AOOD.
No, just ODD.
Oh yeah. ODD. That's old.
It's an odd way of saying
Yeah.
things.
It's an odd way of saying things. The O is we don't drag the O that much. The O is a shorter, harder thing in Norway.
Short and hard, the Norwegian way. I got it. All right.
I know what I said, and I stand by it.
you got to. It's your damn language.
I know. Hey, at least it's not Swedish.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah. Man, I used to have this kind of like in the back of my mind. It was just fascinating. No, it's not the sea bishop, you piece of. I guess somebody's just like, it's going to have to be a kraken. And it's like, but it's not. 'Cause it was described. The account I remember was it was described as taking up the entire harbor.
Right.
Like it was just like a moving island almost.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the fascinating thing. This is straying really far away from the Piasa.
It's not really. It's within the same theme of forgotten stories.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, it's just one of the you get these legends and lore, and it's like there's got to be a common thread through there. Well, actually, yeah. If you do look at the kraken,
Yeah.
it's like there's giant octopuses and giant or octopi and giant squid out there.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, this is lore, this is myth. Oh shit, we actually found one. So
Another thing could be because North America was very rich in dinosaur life. Like most of the most popular dinosaur fossils come from America, doesn't it?
a lot of the big finds, they typically come from parts of like North America. Granted, there's big archaeological finds everywhere, but I do have to wonder if something like the Piasa came from maybe some bones that were unearthed somewhere.
I actually believe it might have been something close to a pterodactyl.
It could have been, yeah.
It could have been.
And that's the fascinating thing with some of these other myths is especially like dragons, where I can imagine, like, hey, there's this gigantic skull that we found that could eat a man. Huh, that must be a dragon.
Yes.
Where we've now reclassified it as like a T-Rex or something like that.
Yeah.
And to me, that just speaks to the need for humanity to come up with explanations.
Yeah.
And just because, to me, it's like something like this would make perfect sense if you had no, other understanding of what gigantic fossils were. And especially if, like some of these mythical creatures would be based on like two animals fighting to the death when they got turned into fossils.
You could have
And,
like a Triceratops dying beside a pterodactyl. Suddenly you have one
yeah,
hell of a dragon.
yeah. And that's the thing. So much of what we see in myth is human interpretation of something that's factual.
Yep.
And that's also, I'm also going to say, just because it's supernatural doesn't necessarily mean it's not actually a natural thing. Because that's just quite literally above the natural. It's beyond our normal comprehension of what is normal and everyday.
Yes.
And I get a little bit tired of people. Oh well, we've got to dismiss all these things because we can't prove it. And I just again kind of knee-jerk go, well, germ theory. All we can now. We couldn't 160 years ago, 200 years ago.
We couldn't.
We had an idea, but we couldn't prove it until much later.
Of course, it's not that the Piasa birds were real, though. If they were, that would be fucking metal. Scary.
I mean, we don't know because
Exactly.
it could have been a real creature.
If there's one
At
thing
one
I've
point.
noticed in stories that always happens, like in modern fantasy, in modern sci-fi, there's always this alternate realm sort of thing to hide away in.
Mhm.
It's like, that also seems to be coming around in every single story these days. Or even in
Yeah.
other worlds, like in other stories in other places, there was this world out of sync with our own, a spirit world, you know?
Which
Where this-
suddenly we get into string theory.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those we really, I think, do ourselves a massive disservice when we just kind of like try to reduce everything down to its basics when we strip out the mythology.
yeah.
Because a lot of these myths, they're either describing something that the human mind can't quite understand, that has a dimension that is not measurable in what is currently our capacity. And I think the most important thing is it's there to kind of have some lesson to teach that an allegory is much better than an instruction manual.
There's a reason why every story we tell has this little warning in about like keep putting your ego in check. Watch out for your own arrogance. And if you're gonna start talking, if you're gonna talk the talk, you better be able to walk the walk.
Exactly.
Like take every story that involves, both in Norway and in America, whenever somebody is challenged by the devil and they accept, right? It is the people who are able to back up their boasting who are the ones who are victorious. Everyone who are not able to back it up, they're the ones to get taken back.
Funny how that always works.
Yeah.
And it's like every culture's devil does the same damn things.
Yes. Tricksters. People that like to
Mhm.
scam you to take yours and make it their own. If you're not able to defend it either through guile or power.
And that's actually the interesting thing is
I mean that's how the Piasa was defeated. Sure, he got divine inspiration, but it was trickery.
yeah,
They couldn't defeat
and
the Piasa in proper hunting or combat. They had to trick it, poison it.
exactly. And seek the divine.
Yeah.
And to me that kind of speaks to the fact that reducing everything down to the tangible world
Yeah, the
is a
scientific
damned
world.
mistake. Yeah, because even if you take out myth, lore, and legend, and solely focus on, say, storytelling elements,
Mhm.
if you don't have that, you don't get books like the Dresden Files. You don't get glorious, you know, fiction writers.
Yeah, you don't
You
get
get
Lord of the
none of
Rings.
that.
The whole point with that was to make a mythos.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
Tolkien himself is, yes, it is a fable. Of course it is a
mhm.
fable. It's what I made it to be. Chad, yes.
So yeah, that's like, and that's why I love these stories. And oddly enough, I've been focusing on a lot with when I'm on with Simply Sketchy on some of the native tribal lore. But
And
that's
I got
because
I
I
gotta
try to.
admit, I gotta admit, Dave said the same thing last time we recorded. Like, you both have this old, you have your own goal with Simply Sketchy, and I'm gonna be honest, I fucking love that. I'm able through this, I'm able to like inspire you to have like your own goals with this.
Mhm.
This is why I do this. It's so fucking
Well,
fun.
and it makes damn good content, I gotta say.
I know you love the sound of your own voice, but hey, you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean, that's what, apparently that's what the rest of the audience likes to tell me too. That yeah, I just I like getting like some of the more obscure lore out, or kind of, because
That's
everybody's
what
all about like the Wendigo and skinwalkers and all that
I
crap.
still want to
And
do those, by the way, but
oh yeah, yeah.
there are so many versions to do though. I was like, if
Well,
we're gonna do the Wendigo though, I want to do it the proper one, you know, the one
yeah,
you sanctioned essentially.
the ones where it's not just like pop culture crap, where it's like, oh, it looks like a deer and has horns, and like, that's not a Wendigo.
No, I want the proper one. I mean, from what I heard, it's kind of like a little side tangent. The Wendigo, from what I've seen, heard about the original myths, it has a lot in common with ghouls from Arabia.
Yes, yes, that they do. A
Yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot.
Oh, I fucking love that.
And that's a lot of the lore, like the real lore, is about them basically being humans that gave over to cannibalism,
Yep.
and not this other thing, which I think is just pop culture zeitgeist. But I'm also of the belief that sometimes you can wish those things into existence by, kind of like a psychological. It's Alpa, I think, is the one of the terms for it, where
Yep.
you discuss it often enough, it kind of becomes a reality. Not necessarily a physical reality, but a psychological reality.
Yeah, I mean, Wendigo. What was it? Wendigo. There was some kind of mental disorder that was named after the Wendigo. I think.
These,
I am.
no, but I'm
I am
not
out of.
100% sure.
I'm out of. I'm not as read up on it as I should be.
Well, if you're gonna be that way about it, I'm going to ignore it and move on.
Ah, what a shame.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't be shocked if there was. And yeah, it's like stuff like the oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Skinwalker, this and that, and it's like you took a concept from like three disparate tribes and blended them all together.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I prefer not that is one topic I actually would defer to someone else. Um,
Skinwalkers.
just because it's one of those, it's like you talk about it too much, and like kind of like witchcraft in the Appalachians. or
Yes,
Appalachians
it's
if you
like I
um
get yeah, I think I get it.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
more you talk about it, the more you draw its attention.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like the more you talk about it in its true form, you draw its attention. So, I get that one.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, now granted, I at some point talking about witchcraft would be kind of an interesting thing, just kind of like the lores around it, especially in um, the Appalachians. There's some really interesting kind of folk remedies.
Right?
Like one of them is when you're building a new house, you take an old shoe and bury it in, like seal it in a wall.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
different.
it's if you go back and it's usually houses that are like 1880s and earlier, and you renovate them. On occasion, you will still find witch shoes or witch bottles in the walls of a house. I don't know where I'd actually have to go and do some digging into that, but it's a fascinating bit of lore.
Yeah. Let's see. So, what do you think so far about this?
I like it, man.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna take you, put it down there. Can do that for the background later, but now I'm gonna do the part two, which is adding the highlights.
Yeah.
And I'm a
Specifically the freaky ass eyes.
oh. Let's see. I think I'm
Just
gonna would be better if I do this.
uh
It's sort of like this flickering fire thing.
huh.
There
Oh yeah, dude, you got it. Yeah, you got that.
we go. Some edges. Of course, now we're talking about this thing. For some reason, in my head, the song "Fear of the Dark" of Iron Maiden starts playing.
Ooh, this would be one hell of a album cover.
Oh yeah. Honestly, out of all Iron Maiden songs, nothing beats "Fear of the Dark." Just saying.
Yeah.
And also is one that always makes me literally scared of the dark because it kind of describes everything that makes me afraid of the dark. Like, have you ever been alone at night, thought you heard footsteps behind, turn around and no one's there? And as you've quickened up the pace, you'll find it hard to look again because you're sure there's someone there.
Oh, you mean like my Salem experience that we
Yes.
told on an earlier Simply Sketchy?
No, not a Simply Sketchy. That was a stream actually.
Oh, that's stream. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I really want to do a Simply Sketchy because that thing, oh boy. If there's a thing
Yeah.
that deserves fear of the dark as a main theme, it's that beast.
Yeah. Although, granted, in some ways that was a little less freaky than the Pysaw here.
Yeah. Well, this is my first attempt doing the pie saw, and I've already done an attempt at the other one. Now I know what the hell I'm
Mhm.
gonna do with the Beast of Salem, so who knows?
Yeah. Do the eyes. Granted, I couldn't see the eyes, but yeah, do the eyes like this. Oh, that's well done, dude.
Thank you, thank you. And also, I decided to give it like proper lips because they kind of freaked me out on the drawing.
Hmm.
There you
Yeah, it could put on a little lipstick and high heels, go out, for a night with the girls.
go. Yeah, you go to sleep one night and you wake up with this motherfucker on your bed in your bed.
I'll say, I'm not drinking anymore.
And that's the end of my alcoholism.
Yeah.
God, I am ready. There we go. Yeah, man, I'm having a lot of fun with these. There's so many cool myths, and it's not again. This is as I said, it's with movies, games, books,
Hmm.
and started with Dave. We started with like movies and then video games, and now we're just covering books that he liked with his kids. It's always
Oh,
been
cool.
this focus on myths from the ancient days. And that's
Well,
something I really appreciate.
it gives you a variety of things to draw,
Yes.
and I like to think of it as trying to preserve some of these more obscure myths and artistically render them. Well, I autistically tell you about them, and you artistically render them.
Yes. With my artisms.
Yes. The autist, formerly known as Trim.
Yes. Formerly known as Trim, now known as whatever kind of noise I make on a daily basis.
Reed?
Yeah, that too. Treem! There we go. Literally what Robert Renato sometimes referred to me as. Or whenever I go streaming, he says streaming. Yay.
Oh, I mean, it's not wrong.
Nah, not at all. There's a lot of reading when I stream, both before and during stream, because technology. Yay. Let's see. I'm just gonna try to do. I don't want to make the antlers too bright because I like the pitch black antlers.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think they look better, kind of like almost like they're sucking the light out of the world.
Yeah, Vanta black antlers, dude. Let's see.
That's trying to see if there's any other little like. Oh, that's interesting. Back on the underwater panther, and this is just purely off of uh, Wikipedia. Another missionary, Claude Dablon, wrote a story about four Ojibwe who embarked on a journey to their home in Mishipu to take copper back to their home and use it to heat water. I guess they're early smelting. The very second they pushed off and back into the water with their canoe, an eerie voice of the water panther surrounded them. The water panther came growling after them, vigorously accusing them of stealing the playthings of his children. All four died on the way back to their village, the last one surviving long enough to tell the tale of what happened before he died.
Ooh.
It's, what on earth caused that? Because maybe that's a hallucination. Was like heavy metal poisoning?
I mean, it could be. Like, along with the copper, you can certainly find a lot of the more toxic metals.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. It was part of a other lore that had to deal with why they didn't mine copper in and the Great Lakes area. At least, yeah, that is interesting.
You stole my children's plaything, so they play with copper.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell?
These small things that apparently make no sense, but you could do so much with them. Like, imagine
What?
if Jim Butcher implemented that creature into his sagas, right? Suddenly, copper could
Ooh.
just get this fantastic element to it. Like, you could do a lot with the weaknesses. Take how he
Mm-hmm.
does fairies, and
Yeah.
their weakness is cold steel, or rather just metal in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the effect they have on metal is this blue fire that just erupts on them and hurts them. So what
Hmm.
happens if a army of fairies chase you through the old steel mills around Chicago?
Oh, that would be wild.
Oh yeah, that's a
Huh.
scene, and it is metal as fuck, and it involves Santa Claus. Uh,
Yeah. It's just yeah. To me, it's like there. Yeah, outside. Yeah, is there just purely a myth? Yeah, like a supernatural thing, or is it interpretation of, or is there a mix of the two?
If you want to be boring, you'd say it's just an interpretation. And if you
Mm-hmm.
actually want to have a little bit of more an open mind and be prepared for whatever hell the future will throw at you, you don't know, but you're open for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Be open for the impossible to be possible, and honestly, you will never truly be surprised by anything ever again.
Well, this is interesting. Copper toxicity. All right, let's see. I'm.
Go on.
Let's see. It's causes diarrhea, fever and chills, muscular convulsions, pain and burning sensation in the abdominal area, jaundice, anemia, metallic taste in your mouth, lack of urine due to kidney function. I was just trying to see if there was like some.
What if they manage to get? Does lead give you hallucinogen? Is there a metal that gives you hallucinogenic or
Oh yeah.
fever?
Let's see. Mercury, I think, does. Because that. Well, Mad as a Hatter comes from that. Because they used mercury in making hats.
Oh. Oh. Dude, old clothes making was fucking crazy, dude.
Oh, it was. So.
I mean, just purple was itself just dangerous to get in the Roman times. Because, hey, you know this snail, this is the only way to get purple. Now go dive for it. The Emperor wants a new shirt. Now go dive.
I'm just wondering, with like heavy metal toxicity. Yeah. So, oh yep, arsenic, cadmium, and this is from WebMD. So yeah, but arsenic, cadmium, copper, iron, lead, mercury, and zinc.
Right.
And here are symptoms: feeling confused, numbness, vomiting, passing out, abdominal pain, diarrhea, dehydration, tingling, anemia, kidney damage, liver damage, lung irritation, fluid on your lung, brain problems, or memory loss. Yeah. Lines on nails, behavioral changes, malformed bones, miscarriages. So, what if in that particular bit of lore about the copper, they had suffered some extreme heavy metals poisoning?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even in some metal veins. There's more than just one type.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is just like you go down this just absolute wild rabbit hole. But this is why I love these kinds of myths, because you've got the story on the surface, you've got kind of the parable underneath, and then you get into the okay, well, where did this come from? And so
It's so much better to do this.
We're all tying that.
It's so much better to do this than the oh, they were just crazy olden day people. Ha 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 ha. Arrogant fucks.
Yeah, they were too stupid to know what was going on. And no, they weren't. They just didn't have the ability to figure it out. And it's not because they were stupid.
These
they just didn't have the tools.
Yeah, these stories came from an age where the humanity hasn't evolved much past that time. There hasn't been any physical changes.
No. We just have the ability to build on the knowledge of previous generations.
Yeah. If you could go back in time,
that's
and
the only thing that's.
If you could go back in time
honestly,
and give them the knowledge, they would be like us really quickly if you could teach it to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If
anything, humanity has shown its supreme ability to adapt and improve.
That is what makes us the superior creature on this planet. It is not our strength. It is not our anything. It is our ability to learn and adapt. Our heads, our brains. which makes me wonder a bit about some things. But hey, I'll keep that for later.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a story for another
Ah,
day.
yeah, dude, this is looking good.
Thank you.
These monsters as hell.
Ah, God, I love doing these things.
Yeah, I really enjoy the concept that we're slowly getting these like little drips and drabs of knowledge. And because we have more easy access to it than we used to, we think we're smarter than the past, but we're clearly not.
Let's put it like this: weak fire has never been reinvented, and it apparently was really fucking potent.
Yeah. And hell, some of the Egyptian glass blowing techniques we've never been able to satisfactorily reproduce.
Nope. Imagine all the knowledge that was destroyed in the burning of Alexandria. That library, dude. Now
Don't remind
that
me.
is a thing I would rectify with a time machine.
I would send the Piasa bird back to deal with that.
Yeah. Which nation destroyed Alexandria again? Because I've kind of mixed up the burning of Carthage and Alexandria into one thing.
Well, that's. I'm pretty sure it was the expansionist Arabic empires.
Of course. No comment.
But let's let's double check because I think there were like two burnings of it actually,
Yeah,
but one where
one.
they just like burned it, and then was like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy it. Just like decline. So supposedly it was burned by Caesar.
Wait, the
And
Caesar, Julius, or the one before?
yes, Julius.
Asshole.
But yeah, Friar supportedly spread nearest docks, yada yada yada. Then, so later in 642, Amir ibn al-As this ordered the destruction by Caliph Umar. And yeah, so they just went whole hog and destroyed anything that they didn't need. But then, let's see. Early on 272 AD, Julian fought around to recapture from Queen Zenobia, destroyed the Brochian quarter, Curion, whatever, where the library was located, but it didn't say that they destroyed the library itself.
No.
And then again in 297, but yeah, so Arabic sources described, and this is from 642, the destruction described blah 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 blah. If those books are in agreement, then yeah, then keep them because they are already in, and if they are opposed, destroy them. Oh boy. And then apparently there was some other destruction of other things. So yeah, apparently at least 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
And all
Julius. Yeah.
How much lost knowledge, dude?
I know. Yeah. So yeah, under Caesar, under possibly Oh no, that was the head librarian. Under Claudius, it was deconstructed, and then Arab conquest got rid of the rest.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 attempts to destroy that, all in the course of 800 years.
Yeah.
800, yeah. And to think all the knowledge that existed before that, just gone. Just gone.
Tragic.
I really hate the destruction of the Library of Alexandria buy all of them. It's like, just let me have my really cool books, man.
Oh man, wouldn't that be
Right.
fucking something?
Imagine if there's like things that were left. Because when was it? I gotta remember when it was founded. Because I thought it was under Alexandria itself.
Alexander the Great.
Established under the reign of Ptolemy II, Philadelphus.
I don't think Alexander was alive for Alexandria. I think it was more made
No.
in his honor.
It was named, renamed for him. But yeah, when the Great Library was installed, it was Ptolemaic. And estimates vary between 40,000 and 400,000 scrolls, equivalent to 100,000 books.
It's disgusting.
Wow. Yeah. What an awful loss of knowledge.
I wonder what the knowledge they had there.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, just to go back and unearth some of that knowledge. Wow, dude, that's looking really good.
Thank you. I'm thinking this should be it. I'm giving it the void black mouth and the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And a little black, a bit of black around its silhouette too. Sort of like a darkness before, the moon, essentially. Just
Darkness before it devours your soul.
yes, there you go. So, should I ease up on the? Oh,
Whoa! All right, maybe you ought to save like 2 copies. Like
I'll
one
do-
where it's just like completely blacked out almost. That's a better gradient, I think.
I have an idea. Now, if I do this. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. That's it. Now, I do that 100% again.
Hmm.
And you. There you go.
The eyes, dude. The eyes fucking sell it. They fucking sell it.
I do. Now this.
Ooh.
Let's see if I turn.
Ooh.
If I turn it
Okay.
to 50.
Just a little darker. A little darker.
A little darker.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right there. Because now the eyes are really popping.
Yep.
Okay. I like this. I really like this. But I'm thinking for a variant.
Yes.
Because in the description, it refers to the eyes as being red colored.
I think I can do something with that. No.
Just-
Let's see, I need to. No, that doesn't work. No. Now, there is one way I can do this. Bring up a different brush. That should do it. Duplicate. Now.
Oh! Yep.
Let's see there.
Ooh, just go up one from that. That, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
There you go.
Ooh, yeah.
That's some shit
All
that
right.
would make Grendel piss his pants.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy with this. Oh, that looks metal as fuck.
Yep. That's
And-
like the only color in there you need.
Yeah. think I want to make the moon a bit smaller because it seems a bit too bright at this point. Just let darkness reign.
Oh yeah, dude. That's yeah.
Now we're talking.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. That's terrifying, dude.
I love this. Yeah, that's good. We did good on this one, dude.
Yeah.
I think I've managed to honor the Piasa with this.
I saw.
Piasa, yeah.
I saw. Yeah.
God.
See, now I'm teaching you pronunciations. Haha.
Shit. It was bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
Man. Piasa. I do love Native American names, dude.
Well, they're kind of weird.
Yeah, but
like
that's kind of what...
Mississauga.
It makes sense. Again, the Pukwudgie is already one of my fucking favorites. It is so... It fits, like, diminutive creatures, but then you have this one, Piasa. You never heard it before, and you think, it can't be that bad, you know, Piasa? And then you see, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It totally is a name you would say in Dread.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Ha, ha, ha. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love how the eyes just bore at you at the screen.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny because when it was like pure red everywhere, it's like, okay, yep, that's cool, and then you like pick this one, and it's like, fuck.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy with how this turned out. Well, I guess the time has come to round up a bit. So, Bleach, you have your own YouTube channel last I checked, right?
Yeah. I probably need to make more content with it, but yeah. Leech Demon is floating around out there on the YouTubes and also on the good old habit of Rumble.
Yes.
Format.
You also have a secondary channel now on Rumble, which you do have a lot of fun with.
Yeah. I it's funny. I've actually got a bigger backlog than stuff that I've pushed out on Radio Diversity, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you'll find the link in the description down below for both Radio Diversity and Bleach Demon's YouTube channel.
Yep.
And is there anything else?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Then I would also like to extend a thank you to Robert Renato, the generous musician who lets me use his soundtracks to make this whole video, both my music in my live streams as well as in these videos, and the up and coming time lapses that should be releasing sometimes between now and next year. Because
it is December, isn't it? Holy crap.
yeah, that is. There's a lot of those. But yeah, so what I'm hoping is that you all had fun, and should you really like what I'm drawing, you can buy shirts, maybe some coffee mugs down in my shop in the link down in the description. Or if you want to hire me to make art for you, either black and white, color, up to you, you can find me on my Ko-Fi. You can reach me on Twitter in my DMs there, or if you're on Discord, you can also find me there. Trim is the name on all sites. So, with that, I would also like to thank everyone else who has clicked in here to watch the show. I appreciate you all. And again, another thank you to Bleach for joining me here, despite against his will. But hey, as last time, you always enjoyed it in the end.
Do I? No, don't put it back on!
Well, goodbye, everyone.
Say goodbye.
Uh-huh.